Since 2009, Southeastern Automotive Group has been buying for and selling to most of the franchise dealerships in the area. What if you were able to bypass the big dealerships with the big markups? Buy direct from the supplier. Save thousands of dollars on your next vehicle purchase. Have a trade-in? No problem. With used vehicles in such high demand, Southeastern Automotive Group has dealers ready to buy your trade. If Southeastern Automotive Group doesn't have the perfect vehicle for you, using their vehicle locator program, they will have it shipped in without any hassle or haggling you hate. With over hundreds of thousands of cars available at auctions across the nation, your next vehicle purchase is just a click away. ESP Specialist in Fabrication is located at 169 Little Phoebe Church Road in Folkestone, Georgia. President Mark Pickering and his employees utilize the latest technology with a skilled workforce to supply customers with the best custom fabrication possible. Serving clients at home and abroad makes ESP a premier employer in Charlton County. For all your specialty and fabrication needs, contact ESP at 912-496-2583 today. They're also on Facebook at ESP Specialist Fabrication. ESP is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Rail fans, you have the ultimate rail fan experience when you stay at Railside Lodging in Folkestone Funnel Crew Headquarters, just yards from the rails themselves, with 30 and 50 amp hookups with a dump station. Just sit, relax, and enjoy the sights and sounds of rail life. Peaks Cabin and Chessie Caboose are directly across from the train watching platform as well. Call today and book your ultimate rail fan experience.
Rustlin Dixie Custom Framing, Unique Gifts and Cafe is located at 3742 Main Street in downtown Folkestone, Georgia. Lunch is served on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come join the fun food and fellowship whether you're a local tourist or a rail fan. We also serve Bluebell ice cream, coffee, and lattes, while we also have train designs on custom t-shirts and unique gifts. Come see us.
Hey Indian fans! United First Credit Union has been helping people afford life since 1943. Our free online banking and mobile app make it easy to check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills. And we offer some of the lowest loan rates in town. Joining our credit union is easy. We are conveniently located at 3773 2nd Street South in Folkestone. So stop in and experience the credit union difference. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Good evening and welcome to the Coach Murray Show. I'm Adam Bell for Charlton Sportsnet along with head coach Russ Murray of our Charlton County Indians. Coach, 2-0. Big wins. I mean, nothing close. We've been routing people, Coach, having a good time. Fans are loving it. And that's a nice change of pace from last season.
Oh yeah, well the kids have worked hard. You know, we worked all off season, and you know, to get to the point where we are now. I mean, it just happened overnight. A lot of people think, you know, they just see what's happened the last 2 Fridays we've been able to play, but it's been something that's been going on for the last year, and I'm extremely proud of how our kids have been playing and how our coaches have been coaching them up. You know, it's great chemistry out here the way we got things going, and they realize they need to get better, and that's what's good about it. They realize they need to get better, and they're working every day to try to win that day, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I know it was a lot of fun Friday night. Started off right out the gate, went right down the field. Some big, and it was a nice mix. It was big runs by Tony and nice passes by King.
Yeah,
too.
we'd worked all week on hoping that they would be in a certain secondary set, you know, on around the perimeter, you know, because we like to throw the ball. We like to throw the ball. Coach Phillips likes to. That's our forte. We're gonna throw it around. But you know, and sometimes all you can do is just line up what you think they're gonna do. I mean, it's a chess match, and as soon as we got out of the gate, they weren't in the defense we thought they were going to be in. So we had to rely on running it too, and it was good to see that we were able to mix it instead of just be one dimensional. And I'd say we mixed it pretty well. Tony had a big night. He had a big night.
Yeah, Tony had a huge night. I know we CSN unofficially had him at, I think, 357, and I know y'all have the official stat from Glenn.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what Tony. That's what he has. He has 357. He 31 rushes for 357, and 3 TDs. And you know, he's upset because he didn't get that fourth one. Where he fumbled one in his zone.
Was tight.
And he's still talking about that. And he had at practice today. He was kind of waving the ball, and he knew. He said, "Oh, I lost it," you know. So, but he had a big night, you know, the guys, and we'll talk about some more, you know, when we get on down. But, you know, he definitely was a highlight for us. And Jalen was throwing the ball around and to different people, and he threw for almost 150, and he threw for 3 TDs, and proud of him on that part of the game for sure.
Tony had a big night on both sides of the ball too. I know you and Coach Jones were just talking about that pre-show. And but like you said, we'll get all into that. Let's hit on the offensive side of the ball first, Coach, if you don't mind. Obviously, King mixing it up pretty good with the run pass back there with Tony. And it's like we adapted to what they were giving us, and then we just took off.
Well, that's kind of he's matured a little bit, and we're kind of helping Coach Phillips, a great play caller, and he's he knows his skill set and what Jalen has, and you always want to do that. You want to get what the defense gives you.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go out and just take it. But if they're giving you something, we're just like everybody. I mean, it's not rocket science. We're going, or the great teams or whatever. It's not that. It's just if they're giving it to you, you're going to take it. And that's what was happening as far as the run game. Our offensive line and our defense line, but the guys that put their hands on the ground did a great job Friday night.
They did.
And they just took it to them. But we had looking at the receiving, I mean, he threw it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different guys caught a pass. So he's not relying just on 1 or 2 guys. In fact, our leading receiver didn't have a touchdown. And he was, he kind of, like I said, all that, and most of them are about. He was only 45 yards, but he caught 4 passes, and he's throwing it around, where he needs to. Of course, we had some picks, but that's going to happen.
Right.
And he's a sophomore, he's still learning, and so he's just doing the best he can, and he's doing a pretty good job at it.
You mentioned the line, and we talked about that in the booth Friday night. King had a lot of time, several times, and that offensive line was creating huge holes too for the run game.
And I don't even think they gave up a sack. I think we had the only real bad thing we had is we had a bad snap that went in and gave them the safety.
Yeah.
And other than that, I was proud of the way they played. I'm an all offensive line coach anyway, so kind of will critique them fast, but they pass pro'd real well.
Yeah.
And I was proud of them for that. So they did it both running and pass pro. The offensive line did a great job, and we'll talk about them too. I'll talk about them right now. The guys that started were Mason Warren and Khalil Burrs. They were the seniors we have, and Assad Akbar and Ryan Keener. They started. They've been starting at center and at guard, and then James Lovett. We started him. He's a sophomore, and he was his first start. And he was doing pretty good, but halfway through the first quarter, he got hurt. He's torn his ACL, and he's out for the rest of the year. And I was extremely upset about that, and I still am, because he worked so hard in the weight room. He's going to be a huge kid. You're going to be shocked to see him in 2 years. He's going to be so tall, and he's got extremely long arms. He's built like an offensive tackle, But he did a great job while he was in there. Gager Info played some on offensive line, and then Taekwon Pierre, he came in and came back. He's usually our starter, but he was out because of some protocol he had with some medical issues. So he came in when James got hurt, and he finished the game out. And they all did extremely well. I can't say enough about them. I'm extremely proud of how those big boys played.
All right. On the defensive side of the ball, Coach, you got that front four did a fantastic job against Long County as well.
Yeah, on Friday nights, the last 2 Friday nights we played, I kind of went, okay, maybe we're not as bad on the offensive line as I think we are, because those 4 guys give us fits during practice. And I'm like, Holly, we can't block our own guys. How are we going to block somebody else? But when you go against some guys that go hard, I mean, that Assad Akbar, I've already mentioned him on offense. He's our only 2-way starter on the line, and I'm telling you that's something to be said for. I mean, because you work hard. Those guys that put their hands on the ground work hard, and he is an extremely hard worker. Love him to death. Great kid, and he goes hard. And then they create havoc back there in the backfield, and like you said, they were stout. They did well this week.
Yeah. We're moving on to the secondary and the linebackers. They only hit a couple of big passes, but that was really it. I mean, the rest of the time we had their passing game in check.
Yeah, we had a guy that it was his first start, and he got kind of confused about a couple things. And you could see him on film, and you watched the film last night with us at the quarterback club, and you could see him grab his helmet. He was kind of learning on the fly too, and he grew up a lot this week, and he's gonna help us out and in the future for sure. They had, like I said, other than some big plays, we held them pretty well in check. Coach Jones he's our defense coordinator. He was really upset about that last touchdown they scored. And I think everybody can remember that. It was a great individual effort by that guy because he was tackled. It seemed like he was tackled like 6 times, and he kept going.
I thought he was down several times.
Yeah, he kept going, and he scored. He did well. But on defense, our leading tacklers seemed like they always come from the linebacking crew. Jalen Lilly had 7 solo tackles and 4 assists, and he had a fumble recovery. And Nathan Johnson, who was our leading tackler against Brantley, had like 9 solo tackles. He turned around and had 7 more tackles and 4 assists, and he had a quarterback hurry. Those were our leading tacklers, and then we had a defensive lineman, Jay Harris, who's played linebacker, but he switched. He goes back and forth.
Right.
He was a real bright spot for us. He actually probably had the highlight of the night. He forced 2 fumbles, and 1 fumble he took out of the guy's hands and ran it in for a touchdown, right there in the fourth quarter. And he just said, "Give me the ball, I'm going in to score." And it was good to see him play as well as he played because he had some ankle issues against Brantley, and I don't really think he even dressed out against Brantley. I'm not sure if he even dressed out. I know he didn't. Number 6. He didn't. I know he didn't play much, and he was disappointed in that because I talked to him, before during the week, and he was hurt. His ankle was hurt, so it was nice to see him get healed up and get out there and get some action in.
Well, I know that was good of him. He had that fumble recovery. That was kind of like the nail in the coffin too. During the fourth quarter, you could tell.
Yeah,
momentum had already shifted to that point, but that was really.
Yeah, I have to give it to Coach Pollock. His bunch, they didn't quit. They kept, the score ended up being 54-23, but it didn't seem like we were that ahead the whole game. It seemed like we were, and that's. That's a credit to our kids, too. There was some urgency when we had the ball. Hey, we need to score. We need to make something happen. And on defense, we need to stop them. Because things we get, last year they got away in a hurry for us real quick. And it was good not to see history repeat itself,
Yeah. I know in the first half we had 4 turnovers. 3 turnovers and then 1 in the second half. But we really, thankfully the offense was playing so well. They overcame those real quick.
Yeah, they did, and it was nice to see us respond that way too. This team that keeps, you're gonna have bad things happen,
right? And
it's how you react to those bad things. A lot of times it can determine how the outcome of the game is going to be, and they responded well to adversity. To what we had, yeah.
Special teams coach White Cruz. I think he only missed 2 Friday night.
Yeah, he had a chance to make 8 extra points. Last year, I think he only kicked 7 the whole year. I could be wrong. We didn't score a lot of points last year.
It was rare.
So he had a chance to kick 8 extra points, and he missed 2. And he'll be the first to tell you, Jalen King, it was something to do with their communication, with the Jalen King holds for us, quarterback. He also holds,
right.
And with Wyatt, it was something going on with those two. Why he missed both of those, according to them. When I talk to them, I try not to. The first thing you want to do is you want to yell at him and stuff, but you don't want to do that because you got to have him kick another one.
Right.
You want to. Well, what's the problem? You want to find out what the problem is, and he told me the holds were kind of. They were kind of, the holds were leaning. I don't know about that kicking. All I tell him to do is, hey, you split the upright. Somehow you get between those 2 uprights. I don't care if you kick it backwards. I don't care if you sling it and hit it with your knee. Just get it through there. That's all I want.
Those kickers are a unique breed anyway. You just kind of let them do their.
And he's done a good job. He works at it. He works as a trade, and I let him wear those ridiculous blue shoes because he kicks well. He works hard and he wears the blue shoes. I know years ago we had Tomcat. He wore the orange, and Coach Matt used to let him wear the orange shoes because all we ever did was wear black. But as long as he's making those extra points, he can wear the blue ones all he wants to.
It doesn't matter.
That's right. That's right.
Punt return, kick return, how did we do? How did we come out? How did you feel on that?
Well, we did okay. With Tony's overall stats, I think he ended up with almost 500 yards total offense when you figure in the stats with the return. So we did pretty well. with that. We unfortunately we muffed a punt, and it wasn't even our returner that muffed it. It was another guy. He just turned around. It was kind of like a short punt, and instead of getting away from it, he turned around, and there it was in front of him, and he tried to field it, and he muffed it, and they got the ball back, and I think it led to a score for them.
Yeah, it did.
Other than that, we were pretty solid on the special teams, and we practice them about every day. Yeah, we do practice them every day, and that's a real important part of the ball game, and they're pretty solid right now.
I want to go back to Tony real quick before we go to our mid-show break. I know you had a couple of things you were asking me about as far as posting earlier before the show, but he also, the one that I did know about was the Atlanta Touchdown Club made him Offensive Player of the Week for the state.
Yeah, he was a player to mention in the Georgia Football Daily magazine, and they pick about 5 guys to mention, and he was awarded that Atlanta Football Touchdown Club, which is through that magazine. I was proud of him for that. Excuse me.
You take a break, Coach? You want to go ahead and take a break real quick?
Yeah, we need to.
All right, we'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back with the second half of the Coach Murray Show after this. The Running Bear Outpost, located in the heart of Traders Hill Campground in Folkestone, Georgia, at 1388 Tracy's Ferry Road, just yards from the St. Mary's River, where there's great fishing, boating, beach fun, and more. We have all of your camping needs, from ice and snow cones to boiled peanuts, drinks, snacks, and so much more. Charcoal, Coleman fuel, and camping supplies. Come and join the river or camp with us under these peaceful, majestic oaks for just $20 a night, full hookup for RVs and campers, or $10 a night for tent camping. We look forward to seeing you in the Running Bear Outpost. Come out and relax a spell. Allen Aldridge Insurance, located in Kingsland, Georgia, is proud to serve the communities of Charlton and Camden counties, offering life, home, car, and business insurance. See Andy Gowan today for your insurance needs. Phone 912-729-7600 for more information. Protecting you is what we do. Gowan Aldridge Insurance is a proud sponsor of the Charlton Sports Network. Four Seasons Floral, located at 4415 2nd Street North in Folkestone, Georgia, has all of your floral needs covered, from Valentine's to birthdays and weddings to life celebrations, proms, special occasions, or just to say you love that someone special. We deliver as well. Call 912-496-7043 and we'll assist you with any floral need at Four Seasons Floral.
It's Ram Power Days at Walker Jones.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Murray Show. Coach, you want to wrap up special teams talk before we head on into MCA?
Yeah, we were talking about the end, how the special teams were doing before I don't know what, I got stuck in my throat, a rock or whatever. But anyway, the guy, Tony ended up with about 500 yards total offense when we with the special teams and stuff, and we were talking about the awards he got, which I'll finish talking about that. But overall, solid, our special teams were doing pretty well. Yeah. As far as the awards got, like we said, he got the Atlanta Touchdown Offensive Player of the Year, but one he got was pretty special. As far as I know, we've never had a guy win one around here. It was a 912 Coastal Pines a Player of the Week award, and it's on. I posted it on my Facebook and on Twitter. They came and Sean Smoke from 912 Sports, and a lady, and I don't remember her name, gosh, I apologize for that, from Coastal Pines, presented him with the award, and it's on their website and different things. And I was extremely proud of him for that. And you know what? I was extremely proud of him when I told him the other day he won. He found the offensive lineman, and I'm going to mention them by name again, and told him thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. And that, like, once again, those guys were Mason Warren, Khalil Burrs, Assad Akbar, Gage Renfro, James Lovett, Ryan Keener, and Taekwon Piran. Okay. And for him to go through and tell those guys that shows that he's growing it.
He knows where
to
it
great
comes
humor.
from.
That's right, and I was proud of him for that, and I'm proud of those guys for doing that. 357 yards. That's pretty stout. And as far as I know, I talked to Glenn. I don't think we've had a running back rush for that much, except for Champ back in I don't remember what year it was. But 90, 95, 96, maybe 90, it had to be 95. 95 against Atco. I think he rushed for like 419 or something like that. I don't think we've had a running back come close to that.
We had some we were talking about that on the game Friday night, trying to figure out if we had the last running back to go 3+. And they were saying Andrew Lee back in 2013.
He may have, but the guy to talk to about that is Glenn Hughes. He knows everything about Charlton County football from 1990 up to this point. And I told him, because I had some people call about Tony on Saturday, and I don't have anything in front of me, other than some game film. I don't have any stats and stuff.
Right.
And I called him. I said, listen, I'm giving your number out to all kind of people because I don't want to tell them anything wrong. And then I'd ask him questions. And just like I said, as far as Champ had that 419 yard against Atkinson at 1 year in 95, I think that's the most we've had since then.
Yeah. Well, 500 all-purpose yards, that's not a bad night by any standard.
That's pretty well. That's
right up there with Champ Bailey standards.
That's pretty good night for sure.
No doubt about it. All right, Coach, let's move on to homecoming week. We've already started homecoming festivities this week.
Yeah. Well, old football coaches is whatever. We just kind of homecoming's homecoming. That's for everybody else, and the kids are having a good time with this. I was talking to my son. He's in college right now. I surely would hate to be going to school right now, especially in college. And our high school, we've done pretty well about how we've normalized everything. We still take our precautions, but things are just not quite the same as they were. Right. But the kids seem to be having a good time. It's exciting. It's early in the year for it, but once again, it's moved because of the whole COVID deal and whatever. And
trying to get it all in to make sure we get it all in.
Different things. And, people at the school are like, when are we going to have this during the summer? And I was like, I don't care. We just want to play.
Yeah.
I said, y'all figure that out. Cheerleading sponsors and the administration, I understand why they have because they have to plan. And, and I was just like, let's just, have it whenever. And we originally were going to have it on the 16th, which actually wasn't the 16th. It would have been the 2nd. But, season got moved back. So, we're going to have it this week.
Yeah,
we're
carrying a pep rally for the first time live Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
yeah, that's right. And pep rally is going to be kind of strange because they're not going to allow anybody else in because it's just students and faculty. And I'm glad you're getting to do that so people can see the pep rally.
So that's going to be a little bit more pressure on me knowing nobody's allowed in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You'll be fine though.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. We have a ball game Friday night, Coach. MCA comes to town. They're 0-2, but that 0-2 is kind of deceiving.
It's very deceiving. They're by far the best team we've played so far, and I'm not sure they're just as good as a lot of teams on our schedule. And we got the big three left on our schedule. They're a well-coached team. Coach Warren was over there back in the late 90s. I don't know if you folks out there can remember the battles we had against them. We had to beat them for the region championship back when we won the state championship that year in '99. They look like they're extremely well coached. They look like they get after it hard, and it's going to be a test. They got to run it back. It looks like he's about 400 pounds, but he's about 220. So he's going to be a load to stop.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're 0-2, but their records had to play Brunswick and Glenn.
Yeah.
So they're not playing smaller schools, and they're playing some two top-notch programs over there on the coast. Both have been in the playoffs in the last several years and things like that. So
yeah, that's a very deceiving 0-2.
Yeah, no doubt. And their schedule got screwed up too. Being on the coast, Savannah, the Savannah schools, Chatham County, not going outside of their school district to play. MCA being only an hour away, played several of those schools, and Brunswick and Glen were saying they were all needing games, so MCA stepped up the plate. So that means they'll play anybody. They're not scared of anybody. So we're looking forward to playing them there. It's going to be a tough challenge for us, and a good team to play, and he's excited about playing us too. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times, and we'll just see where it goes from there.
I heard that. Well, You kind of just hit on the matchups part of our notes here with that running back. How do you see our defensive line matching up with that running back and their offensive line?
Well, you're just gonna have to play hard. It's going to be something that we hadn't seen. Brantley, we thought they might try to run it a little bit more, but they were trying to more pass it. And in Long County, we knew they were going to try to run it, although they did have some success running it. A couple times that big old number 10, they had kids. Oh, they had some good-looking kids. But this is the first team that they'll line up and try to strike you in the mouth, and it's kind of interesting to see how we're going to respond to that.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate so far this year. We've been ahead, and we played well, but it's we might be behind, and it'd be interesting to see how we're going to do with some adversity. See how we're going to react if we're behind. It'd be if we win, it'd be a great win for us. Mm-hmm. If it's a close loss, I'm not saying losses are good, but something we can learn from.
Yeah.
They're a quality opponent. It's not. I wouldn't want to cash it in if we lose to a 0-2 team, because they're a very good team.
Right, and the coming up Friday, it will be the end of our non-region schedule, right? We jump into region.
We got one more game. We play in Chula against TF Terry. We got one more game per se before we get in. Then we play Clinch. We open up with Clinch in the region. So.
All right, so we're gonna dive into the region here in a couple of weeks anyway.
Yes, sir.
I know something. You just worry about the football side, but do you know, are we having a homecoming ceremony at halftime?
As far as I know, everything is pretty much normal, but I missed the memo on that. Whatever.
Right.
I'm sure they're doing a little extra stuff. Because with homecoming, we're not just have only the kids involved. We have parents involved. I'm not sure how they're doing that. That'd be interesting. I'm glad. I wished I'd have known about finding out before.
Oh, that's fine. I'm sure I'll find out on the fly Friday night.
But that's interesting, because usually I think the fathers usually escort their daughters. Isn't that usually what happens?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they do. But so you'll have some outsiders involved and people that are not normally on the football field involved. So
it'll be interesting how they do that with all the COVID stuff.
Going
on. Who knows?
But I'm telling you, Mr. McCoy and all the way from all the way at the top, Dr. Lashley, the way we've handled this is about the best you can handle it. I mean, we just we're smart out there. I encourage the football players to wear their masks all the time. And I wear mine, and I even wear mine more out in the community since school started. And
right.
That's a less of a chance, and we just try to be smart. And our schools handled it, in administration, how we handle things. We have hand sanitizer. I mean, I don't know if you've been out there this year, so there's a different look. There's a different whole thing about doing things, and it's just we're more conscious about what's going on, so which is good. And I'm sure whatever happens this weekend as far as the homecoming ceremony, there may be some different things, but I'm sure they're going to make it as normal as they have, just like trying to make school as normal as they have. But there'll be they're taking precautions, and it's not going to be fly-by, so anybody that's concerned about it, your concerns can be eased. Right now, I can tell you that.
Well, I know Friday night we're kickoff 7:30. We're letting everybody in like we did.
Yes, sir.
Brantley,
I mean, everything.
They just need to wear the mask and be smart with the
social
distancing.
Just encourage that. Just be smart. Like, like I tell the kids, just be smart. You don't have to. You can talk to anybody you want to, but you don't have to get up in their face and hug on them and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, we're in the South, and you like you hug your friends and neighbors, but we have to hold off on that for a while.
Yeah. I know I'm one of the most southern people. When we're hosting the campground, I like to greet our campers and shake our hand. You can't do that anymore. Do the fist pump with the chicken wing now,
And it kind of takes
away. Be smart.
Takes away from their game. Last two games, we've won, and we had to make them trumps last year 9 times, going out there shaking hands, and and the coaches that we played against, both Brantley and Longs, said we hate that we can't, but we're gonna shake each other's hands, the head coaches, and we got to have a nice little talk, but. It's kind of different, but, like I said, maybe everything will be back to normal for too long.
I heard that, Coach. Hey, let's see, wrapping up, coming up on the quarterback club. I know you had the big meeting last night with you go through the highlights and
Yeah.
everything. That's awesome. I had to miss it last night. I was over there
Yeah,
with the band last night.
there was a lot of things going on. We didn't have the group that we've been having. We had several people miss, but I encourage everyone if they want to come every Tuesday night especially after a game like we'll have next Tuesday. We'll have a quarterback club meeting, and we get to film, and normally our offense coordinator Dusty Phillips and our defense coordinator Bobby Jones they're there and putting their perspective on the game film, and you can kind of see things that we look for. You may come away and go, gosh,
it's really cool. I enjoyed it the first week y'all did it.
Yeah, they look for that. I wouldn't even ever thought about looking at that. And I know for 20 years I'd sit there and watch a film, and I never once saw passes being thrown and things like. All I did was look at the defensive front, and I'd watch our game film sometimes, watch it all through, but all I could focus on was those guys with their hands down. So coaches look at games and film a little bit differently than most people.
Oh, one more thing I skipped over, Coach, before we wrap it up. Our Road Warriors, our fans traveled really well the other night.
Well, it was nice to see people in the stands. The boys. We know we're not at home, but the boys like to see their aunts and friends and uncles and mamas and daddies. They like to see people in the stands. They want to play in front of and there's nothing like high school ball. Because your people you grown up with, the people in the stands are cheering for you, and when they go on the road to see it, it's something special now. And the kids did enjoy it. I don't know. I'm just thinking from this group, they probably told people thank you, because I told you after the Brantley game, they were going around Burger King telling people thank you for coming to the
awesome.
game. And I hope that we kind of pack this house out the most we can, because they really they kind of feed off of it. It's terrible having the band way over there in the end zone.
That was a little odd the other night.
That's a big part of our whole school. What we bring, we got the best band in the land. I feel like and my daughter's in it, and it's good because I can turn around and I know exactly where she's at, and she gets into it. I saw her on film one time. Somebody was filming from the stands or whatever. She made something we'd made the long run or something like that. She made some kind of motion. So the kids get into it.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have the band kids near that big sound that they make and the stands full. I can't wait till they're completely full again.
Yeah, Mr. Sloan and Mr. Hersey do a good job with band product.
Yeah, we can't say enough, how good a job they do. Oh my gosh. I mean, they play, they're unbelievable. I don't know. There's nobody around here that can play as well as them. I mean, or better, probably maybe just as good. But as a group, our band is just awesome.
Yeah, they are. Well, Coach, we're going to see the band, the fans, the football game, Friday night kickoff at 7:30. You got anything else you want to get on before we head out?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I appreciate you as usual, Coach.
Thank you.
Hope you get rid of that fog. Y'all have a great week. We'll see y'all Friday night. Well, actually, we'll see you Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock for the pep rally.
Yeah.
That'll be live on CSN, then kickoff Friday night at 7:30. Thank you for watching the Coach Murray Show on CSN.
Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And to celebrate, we're offering this jaw-dropping 2020 Dodge Ram 2500 HD Limited with a 6.7 Cummins diesel and all the bells and whistles. Wait for it, $7,000 off and 0% for 36 months. $7,000. And of course, Walker Jones is the home of the lifetime warranty. Guts, glory, Ram. Walker Jones Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Memorial Drive in Waycross and online at WalkerJonesChryslerJeepDodge.com. Some instructions apply. See details ends 9/30/20.
Folkestone Auto Supply, located at 4439 2nd Street North in Folkestone, Georgia, is owned and operated by the Dasher family. They have everything you need, bumper to bumper, for domestic and foreign car parts. Big truck operators, they have you covered as well with belts, seals, hoses, welding supplies, and so much more. They even have lawnmower parts, blades, and accessories. Stop by today and see the whole crew. Big Sammy, Little Sammy, Miss Pam, Rocky, Stephen, Dave, and Miss Joe at Folkestone Auto Supply.
Charlton Electric now serving Charlton and surrounding counties. With over 20 years experience in both commercial and residential services, our electricians can meet your needs. We offer installation on whole house generators, service upgrades, mobile home services, troubleshooting, ceiling fan and light fixture installations, and much more. Call us today for an estimate at 912-276-7661.
Tri-City Insurance is a proud sponsor of Maiden Softball and Indians Baseball. Give them a call today for all of your insurance needs at 912-496-0020.
For nearly 20 years, Georgia's electric membership cooperatives have made Friday night football electrifying. As the official energy provider of the GHSA, Georgia's EMCs are proud to support high school athletics in the communities we serve, standing behind every hike, every completed pass, and every team celebration. Because we know that today's high school athletes are tomorrow's local leaders. Georgia's EMCs.
Gant AC Heat and Electric, located at 141 West Love Street in Folkestone, Georgia. They service all makes and models of air conditioning and heating units, electric and plumbing supplies, blown installation, appliance parts and service, as well as sheet metal products. Gant is a proud sponsor of the Charlton Sports Network, Go Indians, and the Band of Pride.